All right. So now our very official welcome. We are so happy to see all of you here. We're hoping that we'll be able to answer all the questions that you might have about becoming a Master Gardener. My name is Denise Kennard, and I am a Master Gardener here in Monterey and Santa Cruz counties. We're going to go ahead and get started with the official Zoom etiquette before we get going here. Rita, if you want to move that to the next.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm having trouble here.
I thought you might be. Well, let me go ahead and we'll see if it'll get there soon. But in the meantime, we kind of know what's going on. So we're going to ask you to keep your microphone muted throughout the presentation, just to help us keep the distractions down. And that also, if you could turn your video off as well. Oh, shoot. I'll go back to that. Let's do this.
There we go.
Well, all right.
There we go.
We'll go. Okay, good. So keep your microphone muted. And then one of the ways for you to see the most dramatic slide presentation would be if you use speaker view, but go ahead and see what works best for you. We'll be using the chat window for comments to the group or to an individual, and also for questions. And you're welcome to add them anytime during the presentation, and we'll make sure that we keep track of them and that they get answered before we're done today. Down near the bottom is a CC button. You can click on that if you'd like to have captions added on. If you have some issues with the sound or anything, go ahead and do that. Any other technical assistance, go ahead and chat directly to me, and I'll see if I can get you set up. And this recording that we just set up, it will be uploaded to YouTube, so you'll be able to see it in the future. So you don't, if you want to take notes on anything that's specifically important to you, of course, that's great. But if you feel like you might have just missed something, don't worry about it. You'll be able to go back and listen to this again. I started to say that it helps us a little bit with our bandwidth. If you shut your video off, it's not critical. Go ahead and take care of that if you could. And it's a little less distracting for all of us. So maybe we can go back one, Rita.
Go back
one? Yeah, this one right here, because I think that's behind it, right? So let us know what city or town you live in. Go ahead and put that in the chat. And, it'll be interesting to see where all of us are from. Well, I guess I know where I'm from. All right, I'm already seeing something coming up. Apto, San Juan Bautista, that's great. So lots of things coming in. Great. Okay, now we can go ahead and go forward.
Maybe. My goodness, I maybe should have somebody else drive this, Denise. I don't know.
Let's see. Do we have a link to it that I could touch on to?
Let me plug in my keyboard and see if that makes a difference.
All right. And to be a Master Gardener, you do not have to be a tech wizard.
Yeah, obviously.
You were wondering. There we go. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
No.
That's
Yep,
good.
looking good.
I can't make mine go in.
So anyway,
All right.
I'll start out now. Your hosts this evening are Denise, and you've already heard her. She's serving as our tech expert. My name's Rita Bell. I'm supposed to be driving this, this slide deck. So hopefully my keyboard will get a little bit more cooperative as we go by. Denise and I are both graduates of the Master Gardener class of 2016. I've served on our board of directors since 2017, and that's given me the opportunity to get involved in a lot of our other projects and a lot of the projects that we'll be talking about tonight. We have a few other folks who will be joining us as well. Joy Akonge from class of 2018, Anastasia Foster from 2016. Kate Spears, we don't have her photo up here, but she's from the class of 2022. And Martha Gonzalez isn't here with us today, but she sent in a little testimonial to share with you a little bit about what she's been doing and her involvement in Master Gardeners for the last few years. We're all really glad to have you join us tonight and to learn a little bit more about the Master Gardener program here in the Monterey Bay area. So we're going to start out by sharing what we and what you might be doing as a Master Gardener. Then you'll hear from Anastasia, Denise, and Joy about their involvement in the program. And finally, we'll share some of the program requirements, some of the content, and the application timeline. As it says in our mission, our primary goal is to educate the home gardener, and there are numerous ways that we do that. Last May, for example, we offered 2 bilingual workshops at Cesar Chavez Public Library in Salinas. Participants there learned about container gardening, and they planted and took home their own portable edible garden. We'll be following up with a fall portable edible garden presentation at the same library in October. We also offer numerous in-person and virtual workshops covering a variety of topics with overall emphasis on food gardening, figuring out which is the right plant for the right place, water-wise gardening, pollinator-friendly gardening, integrated pest management, and green waste. We also provide speakers for special events and workshops, and some of our volunteers will be speaking at the UC Santa Cruz Center for Agroecology Harvest Festival in October. We host public information booths at a number of different sites throughout the Tri-County area. PIBs are informal opportunities to engage with the public and answer questions about plants and bugs and whatever's on their mind. We rely on a lot of resources for our answers, including our over 700-page Master Gardener Handbook. We also have a demonstration garden where we showcase various planting techniques, irrigation, companion planting, native plants, composting, and more. The garden provides a wonderful place for informal discussions with passerbys, as well as a fantastic site for hands-on classes. Some of you may know us through our spring and fall plant sales. We have one coming up in early October. Master gardeners propagate veggies and natives, pollinator-friendly plants, succulents, and our plant sales are our primary fundraiser and wonderful opportunity to share important plant information with the public. Every other year or so, we organize a garden tour for the public. Most recently, we showcased a couple dozen home gardens in Santa Cruz, and all of those gardens focused on water-wise plants and irrigation techniques. We had lots of local visitors and also quite a few people from the San Francisco Bay Area. Some of our Master Gardeners act as docents at the UC Santa Cruz Arboretum. Others help out at the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History, renovating some of their gardens while engaging with the public, providing interpretation. We've recently been invited to help out with a new community garden project in Watsonville, where we'll be helping design and then interact with the resident gardens on a regular basis, helping them decide what to plant and how to care for their gardens. Ever wondered why your tomatoes get brown spots or how much water to give your coleus? Whether it's the right time to prune your apple tree or what's eating your strawberries? Lots of people have similar questions and we provide the answers. Some of our volunteers staff our online hotline. People submit questions and volunteers scour through our handbook and UC ANR resources to find the answers. If we get stumped, we can reach out to the researchers at our local UC cooperative extension offices. And Master Gardener training is ongoing. We have multiple continuing education opportunities like our book club and field trips. We learn from others during our How Does Your Garden Grow events that are held at each other's homes. Our recent quarterly meeting was held at the Cabrillo Horticultural Department facilities, where we had the opportunity to tour their state-of-the-art hydroponics labs. We're also active on social media and have a great newsletter that highlights what to do in the garden each month and what to look forward to. Every now and then you can even hear us on the radio. In fact, I'm going to turn this over to Anastasia Foster, who you see on the left side of this photo. And she's going to tell you a little bit about her involvement in Master Gardeners.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you could join us this evening. And I hope that you find this an intriguing teaser and that you'll follow through with some of the additional steps to become a Master Gardener. We'd love to welcome you aboard. So some of my, and I'm from the class of 2016, and I reside on the west side of Santa Cruz. So some of my interests are soil amending via sheet mulching and lasagna layering, straw bales. I'm interested in California native plant propagation. I like to play with herbs and veggies too. For some of the things in my background that I think have assisted me in being a productive Master Gardener is I've done event production and logistics for outdoor sporting events. I have a degree in molecular biology, and I grew up gardening with my mom and my siblings, and we had a veggie garden and an orchard. For the Master Gardener program, I've been involved with the public information booths, the PIBs. I've done hotline, I've done garden tour, I've done plant sale. And currently I'm pretty involved with the public education committee. So that's where we build classes, we do the research, then we build a slide deck. Sometimes we just have an online via Zoom class, but oftentimes we'll do two. We'll do a midweek Zoom class, and then we'll also offer an in-person hands-on version of the class the following Saturday or Sunday. And that's been a lot of fun. Other things that I'm involved in, when we're doing projects in the demo garden, I love if power tools are involved because that's really fun. And then at the end, you have this finished product and it just feels very accomplished, and that's kind of fun. Let's see, what else have I done? I was going to speak a little bit about some of my favorite experiences. Again, they involve power tools in some of them. When we did some major upgrades at the demo garden and kind of did some innovative bed building and kind of completed, we've bled out of our space. So we started in this little chain link fenced area, and then we did a big wildflower meadow outside. And then we decided to do some edging and some more planting. And so that was a lot of fun. And then taking an original class and then tweaking it a little bit. So it's like, oh, well, we started with container gardening. Well, let's make that class into container gardening food, veggies and herbs and whatnot. And let's change that into container gardening for California natives. And you could do an entire garden in containers and have all California natives. So things like that are fun. And it's always great to interact with the public and feel like they got some information that they felt was worthwhile. All right, who's next?
I think it's Denise.
I am, I believe. All right. Let's see. You know who I am, theoretically. Denise Pinard. Been around as a Master Gardener since 2016. I live in Lompico, which is up in the mountains above Felton, if you're not familiar with the area, kind of out in the boonies here. Let's see, I moved to the Santa Cruz area, the Santa Cruz County, just under 10 years ago. And I came from Santa Clara County, where for some reason, the Master Gardeners there seemed very intimidating to me. I think I just didn't know them. They're probably lovely people. But when I moved over here, I found a few of the Master Gardener events available through the Monterey and Santa Cruz County group. And I really enjoyed doing that. I was looking for ways to make contacts in my new home. And because of that, when the next opportunity came up to become a Master Gardener, I was ready to go ahead and do that. So that's how I ended up doing this. And I have made so many friends. It has been really fabulous. Because making friends as an adult is not always the easiest thing, and particularly for some of us who are very introverted, and that would definitely include me. So I'm definitely the kind of person who would sit in the garden with her tea and her cats and never see another person again, except that I have had these fabulous opportunities to get to know people who enjoy many of the same things that I do. And that's been really not only fabulous, it's been a growth process for me as well, to be able to get myself out and be with other people. That's something that I continue to work on throughout my life. I have found I've found people that are my people. That's been really, really, really good for me and for hopefully for them. I'm also work mostly with the public education committee right now. And it took me a while to find what was best for me. I did lots of PIBs, which I thought would be terrifying. That's the ones where we're the public information booths. But it turns out they're really fun. People are fabulous, they're friendly, and it's a really great experience. But it did take me a couple of years to find out that I could also use some of my tech skills with the group. And that's been given me the opportunity to really feel like I'm contributing in a good way. So I didn't mention a couple of the things that I'm particularly interested in the gardening sense. I am probably, well, I'm not the worst vegetable gardener in the world, but I am not a good vegetable gardener. I keep trying though, and I have lots of input from people around me, but I do love some carnivorous plants. And I really love kind of quirky succulents too. The weirder, the better. That's just some of my favorite things. I live in a very dry and hot chaparral area, dry for this area. We're not in the desert full on, but, and so I have a lot of challenging gardening to do in my own yard. The carnivorous plants actually are doing quite well that are out there. So that's been really fun to learn about too. So lots of opportunities for learning, lots of opportunities for growth, and just plain fun. I've really, really enjoyed this. It's one of the best decisions I've made as an adult, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Joy before I go on too long.
Actually, can we have Kate maybe speak to her experience?
Yes, I'm from the class of 2022. So I'm, I guess, the baby master gardener here in this group. I love it. I love it. The training is wonderfully intense, and it kind of affirms what you know, which is surprising. Like, oh, I didn't know I knew all that. And then it also educates you on what you've been doing wrong or what you don't know. I'm primarily, my volunteer hours are primarily on the hotline because of my schedule. And I love it. It's kind of a direct representation of what we do as master gardeners. We help and educate the home gardener and using scientific information, research-based information. And it's kind of a continuation of our master gardening training. And we're hoping, if this new class will get some more volunteers as agents for the hotline. That would be awesome. What else? I live in Hollister. I've been gardening since I was a kid. The other thing I've done was some work with the propagation house, which is awesome. You get to work side by side by people that, your tribe, right? So, yeah, it's been a really wonderful experience, and I'm hoping to branch out more and get more involved with the different projects and stuff like that. So we really hope you join us. That would be lovely. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate. I'm Joy, class of 2018. And I was a garden watcher when I was a kid, because I just watched my dad garden. And it brought him a lot of solace. After he came home, he would just disappear into the garden. And I didn't really start gardening till I was out of college and had my own little plot. And now I'm into permaculture and food forestry and how to building ecosystems and habitats for things. And I'm also an introvert. I also work. And so my area is marketing. And I write the newsletters and compile the newsletters that you might see in your inbox. Thank you all for subscribing. And I was part of the Santa Cruz Garden Tour in 2022, and that was a lot of fun. And I'm also on the Public Education Committee to see behind the scenes how we put these events together. I told myself when I was in marketing, I would never do trade shows. I would never do any events. And it's been the most fun to not do a tech trade show and do a gardening trade show and do fairs and things. So that's been a lot of fun. And I am an introvert. I like to write, but there's so many opportunities to try new things with a generous, kind, quirky group of folks who, if you have an interest in gardening, you can find someone in our group that knows a little bit of something, and they're so generous with their time and knowledge. And it's just like a lot of fun. You know, we all talk about finding our tribe, finding our people. And I'd have to say that's probably the biggest surprise for me. I thought I just wanted to be a better gardener and then learn to teach and write some newsletters. But it's been such an eye-opening experience to learn how much I don't know. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. It's, you know, I don't want to oversell the fun, but it is a lot of fun. There's a lot of work, but there's a lot of fun. And if you want to dig in the dirt, you can do that. If you want to learn more about worms, you can do that. I remember when when we were in the fertilizer class and we were talking about bat guano, and I looked around, I said, oh my gosh, other people are really interested in this bat guano. I think I'm in my element here, because where can you do that in the public? Nowhere. So I guess what I'll do is talk about, I guess I'll read Martha's testimonial here.
Here we go.
So this is Martha Gonzalez. She's from the class of 2020, and I'll read her testimonial. I enjoy the wonderful learning opportunities that are offered via Master Gardeners. My favorites are plant propagation, as there are quite a few. There's quite a good amount of duties and learnings associated, in addition to helping with orders during the fall and spring plant sales. I also very much enjoy working at the demo gardens. The new portable garden project is fun and will help me enhance my presentation skills. I also enjoy the book club, and Barbara Davidge has done a marvelous job of getting some of the writers to show up during our book club meetings. Such a sweet treat. My experiences thus far have been very positive. I am somewhat of a reticent individual, but I feel that since joining Master Gardeners, I have become much braver as it relates to growing new stuff in my own garden and sharing what I learned with others. So thanks to Martha for submitting that. So I want to switch gears here a little bit and pivot to all of you. Can you be a Master Gardener volunteer? We hope so. So the requirements are pretty lax. The only thing is that you really need to be a resident of Monterey, San Benito, or Santa Cruz counties, enthusiastic about home gardening. You don't need to be an expert, open to learning, willing to work collaboratively to achieve common goals, and most importantly, willing to share your knowledge, skills, and experience with others. As you've seen with all of us, we all came from different backgrounds, and we bring a lot of skills and different levels of gardening experience. But what's most important is communicating with others. So that could be writing, the newsletter, articles for our blog. It could be working on the hotline, as Kate does. Could be doing events like Anastasia. It could be supporting the Public Education Committee with our online classes. I mean, there's a lot of ways for you to contribute. And I guess I'll hand it back over to Rita.
Thank you. So these charts just give you a little bit of an idea about where our Monterey Bay Master Gardeners live. The lower pie chart shows the relative number of people who live in our Tri-County area, and the upper pie chart shows you the relative number of Master Gardeners in each of the counties. And so as you can see, Santa Cruz County has a relatively larger percentage of people in our Master Gardener program than are represented by the total population of that county. So I'm in Monterey County and really pushing to have Monterey County numbers increase in with this next class. So I hope lots of you are from Monterey. The heat map on the right shows where our volunteers live by their zip codes. So the darker red areas are in the Santa Cruz, City of Santa Cruz, Watsonville, and the Monterey Salinas corridor, and they represent the zip code areas with the highest number of Master Gardeners. And then the lighter, the red color indicates the fewer Master Gardeners in those zip codes. So the topics that we cover in the training classes, it's a very extensive class, and I kind of made a comment about our handbook is 700 plus pages long. And these are some of the topics that you'll be covering: horticulture and plant selection. There's just a lot of different things, and you'll learn not only how about the content, but you'll learn how to research, where to find more information, and how to share that information to help other people become better gardeners. We don't expect Master Gardeners to be experts. We're certainly not, but we all do our best to get science-based information to the public. And like we said, you'll have access to tons of other resources from University of California, agriculture and natural resource staff, and other Master Gardeners. The commitment, after you've completed your coursework in the first year, you're committed to do 50 hours of volunteer work. And that would be in any of the projects that we described earlier this evening. And then there are others too. So we're not representing all of the possible project opportunities for you. And then after that first year is completed, then annually everybody's expected to do 25 hours of volunteer work and 12 hours of continuing education. Lots and lots of people do much more. This is a timeline. And so if you're interested in Master Gardeners, you get to submit your application soon. Once you apply, you'll be notified about the mandatory orientation sessions. You'll have to attend one of those in September, where you'll get more specific information about times, dates, and topics. Interviews will be scheduled for October, and notification of acceptance to the 2024 Master Gardener training will come in November. The first day of class will be January 6th. There's a $350 fee for the program, but we do have quite a few scholarships available. And the $350 fee does include your books and your resources. And I think that's it. Are there any questions? Maybe Denise has a few that have come through on chat.
Well, we actually haven't had any come into the chat. That's how amazing our program is, no doubt. Anyway, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and pop them in.
Stop sharing, maybe.
One just came through.
Yeah.
I think one just came through, Denise.
There we go.
About being gone.
So how many people are accepted into the program?
We have it set up for 45 people for this year.
All right. So that would, let's see, that's answer a couple of these. Let's see. And when do the classes take place? Maybe that's.
Yeah, that's Saturdays, and we'll be starting in January 6th, and it's most Saturdays all the way through the middle of May. We take the holidays off, so holiday weekends you don't meet. So generally it's about 3 Saturdays per month. The classes start early. I'm not exactly sure what time they're going to start this year, but they're usually, people start gathering around 8:30 or 9, and they go until about 4 o'clock. So they're definitely full days of instruction.
So let's see. Now there's a question here, and I'm not really sure. It says, sounds like the program is open-ended. Megan, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is there something, if you want to just unmute for a second and let us know what that, clarify that a little bit?
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Megan.
Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. So as I understand it, it is a series of classes and a commitment to provide a certain number of hours of volunteering and assistance and participation. So that's what my question relates to. When do the classes start and end? And I imagine the affiliation goes on forever. I mean, I can't imagine that once you participate, you would want to continue, on an ongoing basis. But I guess what I'm trying to understand is it a series of classes that go for 1 year or 6 months, or?
It's a series of classes that start in January and go through mid-May.
Thank you. I guess I missed that. I apologize.
And then your opportunities to volunteer, you volunteer in specific approved volunteer projects. So we have a number of projects that you can volunteer in. But it's not like, well, you could just volunteer to help, your neighbor down the street. It's got to be a defined project, defined and approved project by Master Gardeners.
And the volunteer opportunities, that's the open-ended part that can go on.
Yes.
If you like.
Yeah. You can do as many of those as you want.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And maybe, I'm not sure if this fits in with what you were asking about too, is each year we can choose to continue as a Master Gardener. So you don't have to go through, a full training thing again, but we do have our at least 12 hours of continuing education every year. So we keep on learning, but the major piece is that first year.
I see. Thank you. Thank you. That clarifies it a lot for me. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you. All right. So let's see. Let's ask, how many events are there each year?
That's I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we have 2 big plant sales, and then maybe a dozen to 20 public education workshops.
The
PIB.
hotline, we have a garden tour. We don't do that every year, but we do it almost every other year, and sometimes we do it back to back. PIB booths at large events like Welcome Back Monarchs at the Natural Bridges State Park. So PIBs count as events, and those are held at farmers markets and different events, and at the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History. So, I mean, there's like a lot, and plus you've got ongoing propagation. So, I mean, if you consider that as a project, it's something that's ongoing. The demo garden would be considered a project, and that's ongoing. That's got volunteer opportunities on Mondays, Thursdays, and the 3rd Saturday of every month. And there's more that I'm not remembering.
Okay. Hopefully that answers the question that we were thinking. You were thinking about. Where are the classes held? might be a mystery.
Right, yeah, we know that part of, about half of the classes are going to be held in Salinas at the UCCE auditorium, which is on Abbott Street in Salinas. And we are anticipating that the other half of the classes are going to be held at the almost renovated Aptos library, so that we're trying to split it up so that people don't have to drive, have long commutes in each direction. So about half of the classes will be in Aptos and half of the classes in Salinas.
All right. Okay, let's see. What do our fundraising dollars go toward?
Fundraising dollars go towards the managing the projects that don't bring in any money. So we have expenses for the public education booths, and we have expenses for our public education classes. We have expenses, to just regular operating expenses. And so the fundraisers help pay for those events and those activities. And then also we'll feed into our scholarship fund as well.
Okay. Let's see.
I wanted
so
to add
there-
that a lot of the classes that we do are absolutely free.
Mhm.
And that's something that we've been committed to. And that's a pretty awesome thing.
Right. So a couple of questions about attendance with the classes. Do we allow for occasional absence, or is it, if professional obligations conflict or
Yeah,
whatever?
I'm not sure exactly what the what the policies are going to be about that. I know in general, they would love to have you and expect that you attend all of the classes. But that's something that you'll have an opportunity to meet with the people who are actually doing the management of the class in September, after the application period is over. And so they'll be able to give you a lot more detail about that
At the orientation.
at the orientation meetings. Yeah, thanks.
Right.
Can I
kind of relate. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I know, again, this is Kate, class of 2022. I know that when I was going through the training, I was told you can miss 2 classes. Maybe that's changed.
Yeah, it may have
You don't want to
changed.
miss the classes. They're really wonderful, wonderful classes. You get to hang out with your, people that share common interests. So anyways, it may have changed. So anyways, there you go.
Okay. All right. Are interviews throughout the month of October, or is there a specific set of dates? There, we know yet?
I don't know yet what the specific dates are, but once you've submitted your application, you'll be notified about the orientation dates and those meetings. And at those meetings, I think you'll wind up finding out more about the interview dates.
Okay. All right. Are the classes in person or online?
In person.
Okay. Let's see. Going through these here. And then someone said they missed about the class size, and I'll just say it was 45 is the number that we're looking for this year. Let's see. I think that where the classes are held, I think probably these got answered since the questions went in there. Do you know the number of classes in total?
I think
Anyone
it's
know that?
I think it's 16.
Okay.
Either 15 or 16.
All right. All right, and then I think I have just 2 more questions here. Where does the certification come from? Is it local, county, state, national? How does that work?
It's the University of California.
There we go. And the other one that I keep seeing coming up here is about, and I thought maybe you could just go back over with that I don't know if you want to do the slide or not again, but about the criteria for acceptance. And that
So-
we kind of, I know, had a little bit of a
Maybe I
slide
can-
on that, but that might not be worth it.
Yeah. Let's see, that was you, Joy. And you have to reside in Monterey, San Benito, or Santa Cruz counties. Right, and then the points were to be enthusiastic about home gardening, open to learning, willing to work collaboratively to achieve common goals, and willing to share your knowledge, skills, and experience with others. And you will all get a copy of this, the slide deck and the presentation. So you can have that to refer to.
All right. So let's see. All right, looks like we might have a couple more questions. We've already got that started. Let's see. About how much time per week is needed for outside reading? Projects, other assignments.
Kate, you are probably the most recent graduate. How much more time did you spend outside of the class time?
I think it depends on how much you want to learn, and how much you already know. I spent a lot of time. Can you see this book, guys? This is our manual.
Yeah, that's our 700-page manual.
I think it's a good workout. It's just how much time you want to commit. During the training, it was just really doing quizzes each week in preparation to do your final exam at the end of the training. But there wasn't any, other than the classes, there's no outside projects at that point, because you're not a master gardener yet. So it's really, studying and going to the classes, and they have wonderful, wonderful guest speakers that come in. One of them came in and talked all about irrigation, and I don't care about irrigation, but I was all fired up to learn about irrigation after listening to this speaker. So you really, it's as much time as you want, and you really, really should try to attend every class, because there's just wonderful opportunities for learning.
As Kate mentioned, there are weekly quizzes, and so, but they're open book, and the idea is that you have a lecturer who comes in, an expert, and they go through presentations, and then you have your book, your notes, and your book to refer to for the quizzes. And then there is usually a class project where there's a team of, 5 or 6 students in the class, and they get together and they have a specific topic, and then they do like an oral presentation, like a 15 or 20-minute presentation to the rest of the class. So that's one of the other, kind of assignments. Joy, is there something else that you're thinking of?
I just wanted to circle back to what Kate was saying about being interested in irrigation. I remember having that same feeling like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the most boring lecture ever. And then by the end, you're like, oh my God, I want to be a specialist in this thing. And yeah, I wasn't that interested. I didn't think I was going to be that interested in bugs. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to dedicate my life to learning about bugs. So it's really an amazing experience. And the quizzes, it's all open book. The quiz is the exam is open book. The idea is we don't want you to be an expert or specialist, but we need you to know where to find the information. And that's the most important thing, because then if you can do that, then you can share it with other people.
Well, and the other thing that the quizzes do, quite frankly, is they help the instructors gauge whether they have presented the material in such a way that people have got it. Because if 33 people answer one question incorrectly, then we take a deep breath and we go, maybe we should go over that one again and see if, there's another way to present this information to make sure that everybody got it. So it's not just like we're grading the people that are taking the class. We're also trying to reevaluate how we're presenting the information and making sure that we're getting it across clearly and that everybody's on the same page. So there's that.
Our goal is always for you to be successful, not to intimidate you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Did I miss any questions? Anybody has anything that you can either pop in the chat or, all right. So Gary's wondering how many people are moving forward with applying. We're kind of midway through that. So
We're about halfway through. I think our count as of today was we have 28 applicants. So, but there's plenty of room.
absolutely. All right. Well, we got at least one person. Megan's ready to apply, so that's great.
Fine.
Looking forward to that. Let's see. Once you're a Master Gardener, can you create or start a new community project?
Yeah, you can. It's there's an application process, so you have to, draft a proposal, and then it has to be approved by the board, and then it has to be approved by our academic advisor. And our academic advisor at this point is Dr. Maria de la Fuente, and she works with a lot of the scientists at the UC extension office in Salinas, and also has been the lead for the Santa Clara Master Gardener program for a number of years.
Right. Oh, all right. Like a link for the application. Let me see if I can find that for you. It is possible. All right. And if there's anything else, Joy, do you want to keep an eye on if there's more questions up, and I'll look up that that application link.
I have the link to the page on our website.
Yeah, we could do that too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe pop that in there, and that's probably the best way to go ahead
And the application link is further down, like how to apply. You just click the link. And it has
All right,
more
there we
information
go.
about it has more information, more details about the program on that page as well. You're very welcome.
There we go. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions. It doesn't appear that we've missed anything. Let us know if we have.
One just said, do we rotate training sites?
Oh.
I'm not sure.
I think between Salinas and Aptos Library.
That's the plan, is to rotate. And it's just going to depend mostly on availability as to, how it goes back and forth. So, and I'm not sure what that schedule is at this point.
So within
this
within the year,
you'll
go from place to place.
Right.
Right. So it should be more equal.
That's the goal.
Right. All right. Anything else anyone wants to add? Either participants on our side and their and the new potential Master Gardeners. Either way.
I'd just like to say thanks to everybody for participating tonight. Lots of really great questions. I hope that we were able to answer most of them. There is a link also on that page that Joy shared with you, where you can ask more questions of the class management team, the group of folks who are putting the program together. So feel free to follow up with them too.
Yeah. All right. Last chance.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming. It was
Thank you,
hope to see
everyone.
you all very soon.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good evening.
You too.
You too.
You too.